Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the gift of gab and really wanted to tell you the story behind that first piece. It was about a bunch of demons that come out on the mountain, and then all of a sudden the demon king, Satan himself, shows up, and that's where you heard that fanfare in the middle. And then all of a sudden the chimes rang, and the sun was coming up, and demons can't live in the sun. They had to crawl back under the rock from whence they came, and it was a sad Doloroso type ending. I wish you would have known that story, most of you, while we played it. I know some of you musicians do. So on each one of these, I'm just going to speak briefly about what it's about. This next one is kind of a very serious piece. It's called Alisdrun, which is Gaelic for McAllistrum. He was the, so in 1400s, the British fought the Irish, and the Irish had nothing but pitchforks and torches and farm implements. There were 4,000 Irishmen, and Lord Inchiquin with the British fought them, and all of the Irish perished. They were all slaughtered. And I was listening to an Irish group called the Chieftains many years ago, and I loved their music, and they played two pieces. One of them is in Gaelic. It's called Golna Ban Sanar, and what that means is that it's the crying of the women at the slaughter. And what that brought to image of my mind was the battlefield after everyone had left, and it was the next morning with the fog rising off of the battlefield, and you hear this very sad theme that comes in. So the piece actually opens up with this slow, strange melody, which represents the women and the daughters searching for their loved ones on the battlefield. And then it kind of does a flashback to, and the next piece that I used of the Chieftains was called McAllistrum's March. McAllistrum was the guy that led these Irishmen into battle, and they thought they were going to win. And there was a funeral march for after he perished, and so they carried his casket through the town playing this march called McAllistrum's March. I used it as kind of a battle cry in this piece. So we go from this opening scene, if you will, into this kind of a march into battle, which is all awesome at first, but then all of a sudden tonality and rhythm and everything begins to break down because all of a sudden they realize they're not going to win. Then all of a sudden at the very end, you're going to hear super loud timpani and bass drum just going boom, boom. That's McAllistrum's heartbeat as it fades away. And as he realizes he's dying, and we hear that gold Naban Sanar layered on top of itself to bring the end of this to a close, and then all of a sudden you hear all their souls just float away with the lights turned out by the drum. I thought if I told you the story behind that, you might be able to follow it and enjoy it much better. Here is Alisdrun. I see a check on this stand. I must have done something right. That's great. Sorry. I get to do this. I'm so lucky. I get to do this all over the world, all over the United States, and it is so special and such an honor to get to come here in where I'm from. Sometimes what's the word? You have to go 50 miles from home to be an expert at anything. So to be invited to come here and conduct in my own backyard is very special for me, and I thank the teachers for that. And speaking of teachers, if you're a public school teacher or a private teacher of any of these students, would you please stand up and be recognized? They are just doing an outstanding job. Please stand. Come on, Angie. If you were at the earlier concert, I echo what Dr. Laycock said, maybe some areas in Georgia, some places in Texas, but we have some very special teachers and some incredible things going on here. Also, parents, you are to be congratulated on these wonderful young people. When I came, I picked a program that's pretty challenging, if you haven't been able to tell. And when I got here and looked at the schedule, we had about 4 hours less of rehearsal time than these kind of groups usually have. And I was like, oh no, oh. So I adjusted the way I was going to rehearse them, and this is not putting the kids down, but if you could have heard, one of the teachers secretly ferreted out a video of them playing on Thursday evening before I got here. Oh my. And so if you could have heard that, and then you can hear what they're doing now, they have just been awesome. They've also put up with me in all my remarks, and they've just really come through and played really well. And that's a testament to not just them, but to you as their parents for raising such wonderful, outstanding individuals. And it's only because of age or time in history that I get to stand before these great leaders of the future and be called their conductor, because they're going to far surpass me. Wonderful talent on this stage, so you guys should be very proud of what you've done here with these young people. Now we're going to finish this program with Nabucco. Sometimes I accidentally call it Nabisco, but this has nothing to do with Nabisco. It actually has to do with Nebuchadnezzar. This is a biblical character that had the Jewish people, the Israelites, in slavery. And so this overture takes pieces from the opera that they travel through as far as plans being made to escape, there's a sadness in one of the songs which sounds very Italian and very beautiful. Matter of fact, the Italian people fell in love with this aria, and it was sung at Verdi's death, at his funeral, and it was also an underground, quote, aria, anti-Mussolini type aria, and it was sung by the Italian people during World War II for their freedom. So I hope you enjoy Nabucco, and once again, I've thoroughly enjoyed working with the young people. They've just done an outstanding job. You should be proud of them.